Hello everybody, this is Katie here with Mill Creek Family Farms AKC-Champion-Line Cockapoos, and today I am going to attempt to do a video that we have had a lot of requests for over time, and I just haven't quite known how to set it up because we are just not very technology savvy, video savvy people, but I am going to take a crack at it here, and hopefully it will be something that helps you. I have here Rebecca and Red Ryder puppy. He is, let's see how he fits in here. Oh, I need to set a towel out for you, don't worry, buddy. He is 12 weeks old tomorrow. We have been putting some pictures up of him. He is still available, looking for a home, looking for his family. Although I have joked with a couple people on the phone, he is as close as we've ever come to keeping somebody because the kids are getting super attached. But this is him. He's got some good bangs there. Look at that. So I am going to just kind of run through with you how I home groom puppies, and you can use it for your Cockapoos, obviously, or for Doodle dogs of any sort, really. Should be a helpful video for that. I hope that I can get it done well. So, to start with, what I always start with, and I have all my materials ready here, all my tools ready, and I will link to all of them below. But I always start with the nails, and quite honestly, his nails do not probably need done that bad because I keep up with them on the puppies. Are you shaking in front of your camera here? I'm sorry, pal. Because I really do try and keep up with puppy nails all the time so that it's something that they're used to and not afraid of. To show you what I use a small pair of just nail scissors like this. They are specifically meant for pets. I am not brand loyal. I have found a lot that work really well. So I will link to some of these online. I usually just go with whatever is the best price the day that I'm needing more, and I keep like 5 or 6 of them around because they're real handy to have. To show you a comparison, this is like what we use for our Pyrenees, adult dogs. So they are quite a bit, you can tell the actual part that's clipping is quite a bit smaller, and it really is handy for puppies, or even small adult dogs. So these are there's some things that aren't worth getting the smaller version for the amount of time that a puppy's going to be a puppy. These are worth it. And they are not very expensive either. So what I start out with is I just start by trimming their nails. It's easier on a light colored dog than a dark colored dog. You can see his are not, they're already blunt, they're already trimmed off, but I just come around them and just gently trim them. In a light colored dog, you're going to look for, you can see on white nails where the bloodline is. And you're just going to trim just before that. If you are nervous, I'm going to tell you, number one, even if you have their nails trimmed at your vet's office, your vet makes them bleed sometimes. It happens. It is not a big deal. Be careful. Just take off a little bit. And then I'm going to show you my bottle here. It's old and it looks dirty. This is how often it's not a big deal and you don't use it that much. Something like this styptic powder or a bleed stop. Just have that on hand. It's no big deal. You're just going to put that over the nail that did get too short, and you're going to move forward. But if it makes you nervous, just take the very tips off more often, and that will be fine too. I do tell people, make sure if you get a puppy from us, we do leave on purpose. We do leave their dew claws. I can link to information about that, but you're going to want to watch for your puppy's dew claw as well. And what that essentially is the puppy's thumb. And I will show you better here in a moment once we trim his feet. But it's going to be just a little ways up the leg where a thumb, if you picture their paws as fingers, it's going to be over here where the thumb would be. So hopefully this is showing up okay in the screen. So first of all comes a trim to the front and the back. So 10 toes on the front on our puppies because they have their dew claws. 8 if yours doesn't. And 8 on the back. All right. So that's how you're going to start. Well, I should say, if you're just watching this for general information and not specifically about one of our puppies, you should check for dew claws on your puppy's back feet too, because that is a possibility. Okay, it just doesn't tend to show up in our puppies. So the next thing I always do is I trim, and this is one of the probably most common, even grooming and between grooming things that I do, and that one of the quickest things that make them look like a cockapoo or a doodle of any sort, and that is trimming their eyes, learning how to trim their eyes. I'm telling you, it's not a fine science, but what you're going for is just kind of, if you do like a circle of the muzzle and then a circle of the face, you can kind of picture what makes a doodle hybrid of any sort look like that type of dog. And separate from the poodle. A poodle's hair can be cut this way, but it is what kind of distinguishes the initial look from a poodle. So I like curved scissors. They are a blunt tip curved blade is what I like. I keep so many of these on hand because they are so very handy for this job. The brand that I have, I do not believe is available on Amazon. We get it from a local pet supplier, semi-local. It is called Miller's Forge is what I actually use. Blunt tip, curved blade. Again, we're going to be in by their eye. We do not want a sharp tip. So don't settle for a sharp tip. Go for the blunt tip. And the curved blade really just lets you come right, and these puppies are used to it. Our puppies are used to it, so it's not going to be a big deal. I'm just going to come in right by the eye. I hope we can kind of see this. And just snip away the excess hair. Because they very quickly, he doesn't have it today because I've been keeping him trimmed. He doesn't have much of it, but to just keep that hair that grows from growing right in front of their eyes. And that's going to make such a quick difference. You can kind of play with right around the nose. If they are getting really long hairs, really long whiskers, you can even, oh, where are you trying to go? You can even turn your curve the other way and work on curving here. Now it is going to look, wherever you cut this is going to be a very sharp line, okay? But you can see already, even though I've been keeping his eyes trimmed, you can see the difference in the two eyes. It really cleans it up really fast. Okay, the other thing that I use, I said that would make a very blunt line where you cut with those scissors, obviously, is a pair of thinning shears. And you can take this, and anywhere it's too heavy, like he has some pretty heavy eyelashes and pretty heavy bangs, I can just cut, and you can see from this, it's not going to cut everything. We've got a regular scissor blade on one side and then kind of a comb with sharp edges on the other side. So it is not going to cut everything. It's just going to cut some of the hairs in the area. It will thin it out, make it less heavy. It also, you're taking less hair every time, so it really makes it a little bit easier. Maybe make you feel, oh, there you go. You found the spot, huh? Maybe make you feel a little bit better, a little bit less intimidated because you're not taking every single hair. You get to kind of see what your line is going to look like before you actually make the blunt line. So, these are my favorites, but I do recommend that you have this as well. They are a straight blade. They are also the blunt tip, and they are just a thinning shear, and I will send that to you also, or link it below. The best thing you can do if you're going to home groom, or even if you're taking your puppy to a groomer, is to keep them used to having this done. So you know what? Even if you are not planning on grooming yourself, this is a great thing to have to keep up in between groomings. But even if not, even if you don't intend to ever cut anything at your house, right, and just take them to a groomer or have a groomer come to you, this is a great thing to just, you know, kind of slide this around here carefully and just kind of do this. This will make the actual groomer trip less stressful for your dog. You can see he is 12 weeks old, well, not quite 12 weeks old, and he does not care one iota. In fact, his eyes almost want to close as I'm doing this. This is because he's used to it. It is very important for them to be used to it, because if the first time they see this is when they go for their puppy groom, it is more likely that they are going to be very scared on the table. So I do recommend, this is a pretty small amount of money, a pretty small investment in order to not have your groomer call you and say, hey, I need to either sedate them or I can't do this. So an acquaintance with home grooming is not just for somebody who wants to exclusively groom at home. All right, so I've showed you how to do an eye. I've showed you how to use those trimming shears and make his face just look super beautiful. and we've done nails. So now I'm going to do probably the next thing that makes the biggest difference to me, and that we always make sure our puppies have when they go home. Honestly, I don't do it a ton while they're here just because they are always at our house on floors that have good traction, very purposefully for their bone and joint health. We are always on floors that have good traction. But especially if you have, first of all, I caution you not to be playing or running on slick floors in your home. That and going up and down stairs are rough on puppy joints that are still growing. So first of all, we do always recommend that our families have one of our 3 have-tos that we say are 3 that we consider a have-to. One of those is a joint supplement. It's I'll link to it below. It is a glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, and ester C human grade supplement that makes sure that their bones and joints are just doing what they're supposed to do. But even with that, you do want to be gentle on puppy bones and joints. I'll give you a real quick plug on that. My sister, a lot of times we send this home with puppies and people are like, oh, well, they're a puppy, they don't have joint issues. Well, no, but this can help to prevent that. And in the occasional situation where we do get to see somebody give it to an older dog, it really is a neat thing. I had a sister who had a senior lab, and this lab had terrible hip and knee joint issues. The dog always slept in the bed with him, and it got to the point where she could not even get up on the bed. And there was a five-figure surgery that was going to need to be done. It was over $10,000, and within one bottle of taking this joint supplement, the surgery got canceled and the dog could get back up on the bed again. So it is awesome when you just give their body the things that they need to support them, what can happen. So don't let them run around on slick floors, but give their feet traction the very best way that you can. Even some concrete can be slick if it's polished or anything like that. So you want to give their feet the best traction that they can. And a way that we do that is before they go home, we go ahead and trim the excess hair between the pads between the paw pads of their feet off. For this, I have an Andes Ultra Edge dual speed clippers is what I have, and it's what I've kept forever, and they are very versatile. So this is just a 5/8, and you can see it's thinner at the top than if you would compare it to like a regular blade. You see that? So it works great. Yes, he's sniffing them for you. It works great to go in between paw pads and around smaller areas. We're going to use this one in a minute. Just to show you how versatile these clippers are, I use this one then to shear sheep. So this head on them. So anyway, we're going to start with this size. I keep a couple of them on hand because they do get hot, and especially if you're going slow and taking your time, they can start to feel really hot. And you'd want to be careful about that on their delicate little paws. I always keep around a bottle of some sort of a blade oil, a blade cooler to spray in between, or if you start to feel like it's getting warm. So those are the things you're going to need. I go ahead and put it straight up on the higher setting. And what I do is I come in. Oh, don't stand up. You're okay. I come in, and the first thing I do is to cut behind that, the big pad on their foot, okay? And just come right up to that. And he's wiggling a tiny bit, but generally, again, if you have been playing with their paws and really working with them, again, this puppy is 12 weeks old, and he is not, well, I keep saying that, almost 12 weeks old, and he is not minding this at all. So I just come and I make a clean line just right behind that pad so that you can see that from the back. Then I'm going to come on this side and come up. I'm hoping you can see that. Come up the side of the toe and take care of that side. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to connect where I cut behind that big pad and come up the edge of the outside toe on this side. Then I take my hand and kind of just come over the top of the nails that we would have just trimmed, and I just meet the edge. Hopefully you can see that. I hope you can. I can't look at both at the same time. But we're going to just meet the edge of our, we're going to kind of just push the hair down with our thumb, and we're just going to take the clippers to meet the edge. The thumb or the side of your thumb there. So it's not going to expose the nails, but it's taking them right to the edge, okay? And it's giving the foot a shape. All right? And then you can see that's totally different, okay, already. Look how much more traction we have than this paw. All right, yeah. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to go in between the paw pads. This is where you need to make sure it's not getting hot. I've only done one paw, so it's not. But we're going to go in between the paw pads. And we're just going to work it. See, he's not upset about it at all. This might not happen first time with your puppy. Again, I groom our puppies, and this is not a weird thing for him. He's a good, calm boy, really laid back. That early neurological stimulation helps as well. They are good at just adapting to different situations. And part of that is playing with their feet and when they're starting at 3 days old. So you can see that makes a big difference. So I am just really trying to clean up in between each of the paw pads. I did the big paw pad all the way around. Now I'm going to do, I kind of pinch the toe to open up in between, and I just kind of scoop through. Just kind of scoop in between each toe. I'm sorry, I bet you can't see that very well. Oh, you're going to yawn. Am I boring you here? Oh, thank you for the kisses there. Okay. And I just kind of tidy it up. I look at anything I missed, but all of a sudden, looking at that clean paw, that's going to be easier to clean when you come in from outside, and that is going to give him way better traction than this paw did. So hopefully you can see that. Hopefully I didn't just block the whole thing and I look silly here. But there is that. And obviously I would do that to all 4 feet. But it makes it look nice and clean. It gives it a shape more than just a fluff there. So that is how I trim their paws. And that makes a big difference fast. And really is a safety, is a health and safety thing as well, especially again if you have anywhere in your house that is slick floors. And I would recommend that you get rugs, that you set down rugs or set down something that helps them to get around without slip and sliding. So that is that. The other thing is, and I will link to that also, obviously if you're getting a puppy and you have slick floors, tile throughout your house, really heavily polyurethane hardwood throughout your house, it doesn't mean you can't ever have a dog. I will link to some of our families who just rugs are not a possibility for them, choose to do puppy gripper socks. So I will link to a pair of those as well and show you what that does. The next thing that I do on puppies, to get them used to it again, I get in big barrels these double-ended doggy toothbrushes, just disposable ones. And this small end here, the big end can be used for big dogs. This small end here, I just, not even that there's much to brush off, but I just come in here and get them used to it. And you can tell with all the dogs, if you've ever tried to brush a dog's teeth that's not used to it, they freak out. And look, already, he is just so, okay, whatever. Just will let me do it. So even again, at this stage where they're not even really having much, it's important to do and get them used to it. So, and if you have a dog that already isn't used to this, you can just rub on the outside first, just get the fronts first, just introduce it easy and slowly. There we go. Look at those pearly whites. Gonna show everybody your smile? Yeah. Okay. So, teeth. The other thing is ears. I have today these Groom ear care pads. I like the pre-moistened pads. You can buy liquid and you can squirt it in and use a cotton pad to clean that up. I like the pre-moistened pads. These Groom ones are very nice. but they are not my favorite for puppies because they are so plush. So I actually rip them kind of in half thickness wise because they're about too big for puppy ears. They're great for adult ears, but about too big for puppy ears. I'll try and link you to the ones that I usually get. So with this, I'm just going to lift up the ear flap, and you just are. It's almost, I mean, I'm not telling you to be rough, but you're going to feel like you're being rough to get as far as you need to get. You're just going to put one finger that does not have a sharp fingernail, and we're just going to go into the ear here, and we're just going to work it around. Again, if your puppy has not been used to this, this is probably something that's going to upset them. You can tell he has been. We are not looking to be rough, but you do have to kind of reach in there. So you're just going to gently swish around, swipe around, feel in every fold. Okay? Feel in every fold and just get it cleaned out. And then, oh, you can see there's pretty much nothing on there. But you're going to do that in each ear until, with a new pad, until the pads come out totally clean. Now, just a bit of information here. If you're ever doing this with your dog and coffee grind looking material comes out, that means they probably have ear mites. That is something you're going to need to address. There are home remedy things for that work very well. Or you can go get like some, veterinarian grade, veterinarian prescribed medicine for that as well. But if you are going for a more natural approach, there are some oil-based, even making your own. We brought in a puppy one time that had ear mites, and I'm telling you, is an olive oil and vitamin E mixture followed with a kind of tea that cleaned it up, no problem. Oh, you got eye boogie. You got an eye boogie. There we go. Ooh. There we go. They cleaned it up, no problem. So if you ever are cleaning out your dog's ears, now you're going to catch it if you're cleaning out those ears regularly. But if you get a puppy home and you check their ears, cleaning them like that, I recommend doing like the ears and things like that once a week, just to stay on top of it and keep them used to it. But if you ever see a coffee grind type material come out, you probably are dealing with ear mites. I also keep these. He does not need it, but I also keep these. There's all these little folds in their ears, and you can use this to gently not go in the ear, but on the flap under the ear to clean out all the little folds and also to kind of dry it up a little bit. You do not want so much liquid in there that their ears stay wet. Let's see. I think we are down to just talking about when I do their trim on their little bottoms and on the boys like this on their tummies. A lot of people ask what shampoo we use. I set this out to remember to tell you. We use 2 different kinds of shampoo. This is my second favorite. We do keep it on hand. If you have bought Fresh and Clean before, and ours looks a lot watery than yours, it can be watered down to almost half and still work great. In fact, we almost like it better watered down. So if you're buying this, if you can water it down, it works wonderfully and will save you a lot of money. So we like the Fresh and Clean, the orange kind specifically, Classic Fresh. We like it diluted to about half shampoo, half water, and it smells wonderful and we really like it. But our very favorite, and I am out of it right now, is from the company that actually does those joint supplements I was telling you about, and then the daily kind of vitamin that we give our dogs. And it is a shampoo that they have that smells like baby powder, and it is our very, very favorite. So I will send you, again, I will link all of that. When I use that one, when I use this Fresh and Clean, people are like, oh, they smell so good, it's great. When I use the New Vet shampoo, people call me the next day after getting their puppy, and I think, oh, they're going to have a question about their puppy, about potty, about this, about that. They're asking me what shampoo I used. So yeah, I will link to those, our favorite shampoos, below, and then, I will go ahead and do this. Do you want a little treat? You keep searching in my hand there. Do you want a treat? There you go. Do you want to eat some? For their treats, while we're on it, we do like the little tiny liver treats. Just the dried liver is the only ingredient. The other thing we use as training treats is their daily vitamins or their joint, mostly their daily vitamins. Or these are our other favorite because they're soft chews and they break really easy. Oh, I'm going to break it everywhere. They're a probiotic, prebiotic and probiotic. And what really attracted me to this one specifically is that they use the strains of bacteria that are naturally found in the wild prey that a dog would eat. And we have had excellent luck using this. It has quickly become a have-to for our dogs, and a lot of people tell me it really helps with making stool the right consistency, helping things like that with their other dogs that they already have. So I'll link to that also. The new joint, the new vet vitamins, the new joint supplements, and the Maxi Flora pre and probiotics are our have-tos for our puppies, and that we always tell families to order. Our strong recommendation to order before puppies go home. Those three things really make a big difference, and it can be seen at the vet. It can be seen, just in happy tummies and not having a lot of trouble with things like that. So anyway, I'll link those three also, and then we're going to go ahead and do the last part of what I do during routine groomings. We did eyes, we did ears. We did the thinning shears to trim any excess. We looked at his teeth. We trimmed toenails. We trimmed one paw. High five. Now the other thing that I do is on the back end. And what I do is I switch my blade on my trimmers here. I use a 10 blade. The higher the number, the shorter the hair. So like a 40 would be like a surgical clip, like they're basically bald. The 10 is very short for like a sanitary trim, which is what I'm going to do right now. I get him standing up. Oh, you're going to just let me support you there? You're just going to let me support you there? Okay, I get him standing up, and I just start by swooping right up through the center here. We're just trying to keep everything short so that we don't have anything sticking. And then I just start at the center and I swoop out. And again, it is not a fine science. You're not going to ruin anything. And I swoop out each direction just to make if you can just kind of picture them being able to go potty without making a mess that gets stuck in their hair all up and down everywhere. I go just barely up to the tail, and then I do a good wide path down the back on either side. So to give you a view there, just making a nice area where nothing's going to get stuck and we're not going to have any little dingleberries. Okay? And then on the boys, I pick them up and I do the belly as well for this area that gets wet. And I trim a pretty wide path. And I don't go out to the sides on this one. I just go straight and make sure and get right around where he goes potty there. And that keeps him from getting all wet when he goes out to go to the bathroom and coming in with a wet belly. So that is my quick doodle, specifically to the Cockapoo, groom that will either help you push back your first official puppy groom. If you're delaying vaccines, or if your groomer requires things that you're not comfortable with, or if you're in an area that does have shutdowns again this winter or something like that, that can help you prolong the time between visits. It can help you push back your first puppy groom. Or, you know what? Maybe you'll realize it's not that hard and you'll just become a puppy groomer yourself. So, and just a little plug for this sweet guy. That sweet little face is still looking for his forever home. He's just hanging out with us in the meantime. His last sister just went home, actually to a family that has another puppy from us. So if you are looking for a super sweet, I mean, can you not tell what a doll he is? A super sweet, laid back, but ready to, oh, does that feel good on your ear right there? Yeah, yeah. Laid back, but I mean, he's also got a playful streak. Don't let him fool you here. But he knows when it's time to calm down, and he loves being petted and snuggled. His birthday's May 27th. He has been very well socialized. He has been around kids. He's up to date on preventative wormings, and on he's had his first distemper and parvo shots. He is vet checked. He has his Missouri, yes, we're in Iowa, but we're very close to the line. So he has his Missouri State vet health certificate. And we will probably take him to a vet one more time before he goes home, especially if he needs to fly on an airplane. He can come home to you anywhere. We've sent puppies all over the United States. We've sent him to other countries, and he can come to you. If you're close enough to come to us, awesome. If not, he can come to you. We work with some excellent flight nannies, and they can carry him in cabin, in the plane, in their lap, to come to an airport that is convenient to you, a major airport near you. And it's a great process, and he is such a good boy. And I am so excited to see what home finds him, where he's going to end up. I can't wait. I just put new pictures of him up on the website. I'll link to that too. But if you're looking for a boy who's ready to come join you, here he is, huh? You're such a good boy. Okay, so we'll leave you with that. And hopefully this video is helpful. I know the couple of how-to videos I've done in the past have been ones that people have really watched for a long time afterwards. And so hopefully this one is helpful to you. And yeah. So puppy grooming between groomings, or just puppy grooming. So, all right. We will see you later. Again, Mill Creek Family Farms, AKC-Champion-Line Cockapoos, and also have the working Great Pyrenees out here. We are located in southwest Iowa, about 2 hours each from Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas, from Des Moines, Iowa, and Omaha, Nebraska. And again, he can, through the airport at Kansas City, head home to you about anywhere. So, all right. We'll talk to you later. You guys have a great week.